Toyota's new GRMN Corolla has kicked off an argument that has almost nothing to do with horsepower. At $64,360 before destination fees, taxes, and whatever markup dealers inevitably tack onto a car this limited, it lands in territory usually reserved for genuine sports cars. And that's before you factor in that the regular 2026 GR Corolla starts at $40,520. We're talking over a 50% jump for a car that, on paper, doesn't look all that different. If you're judging this purely by the spec sheet, the price feels hard to defend. But that's kind of the point. The GRMN was never meant to win on a value per dollar basis. It's playing a different game entirely, one built around exclusivity rather than raw numbers. Toyota is borrowing a page straight out of the playbook that brands like Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini, and McLaren have used for decades. Make something genuinely scarce, and scarcity itself becomes part of the appeal. The GRMN doesn't need to blow the doors off the standard car in every measurable way, because buyers here aren't just paying for extra kit. They're paying to own one of the rarest Toyotas to ever roll off a line. And that's obvious the moment you look at what you actually get. The interior still runs the same 8-inch infotainment screen as before. No upscale cabin overhaul here. Color choices are limited to just 2, which tells you Toyota isn't interested in letting buyers personalize this thing so much as preserving a specific identity. Transmission choice is even more restrictive. It's 6-speed manual or nothing. No automatic option like you'd find on the regular GR Corolla. This is a car built for people who want to row their own gears, full stop. Power numbers won't turn many heads either. The turbocharged 3-cylinder still makes 300 horsepower, identical to the standard car, with torque nudging up only slightly, from 295 pounds-feet to 302 pounds-feet. Looked at that way, it's tough to see how those figures alone justify a price gap north of 20 grand. And plenty of enthusiasts are going to ask exactly that question. But peak power was never really the story here. Toyota's engineers spent real effort trimming weight, shedding around 66 pounds overall, and one of the more obvious contributors is that the rear seats are simply gone. That's a clear signal about where this car's priorities sit. Every pound removed sharpens response and improves how the car feels when you're actually pushing it. Carbon fiber panels show up in several places, cutting mass while adding stiffness, and forged wheels reduce unsprung weight to help the suspension do its job better. Michelin's Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires bring a serious jump in outright grip compared to what ships on the standard car. None of this is about comfort. It's a package built to squeeze every bit of capability out of each corner. The suspension gets real attention too, with specially developed monotube dampers designed to stay consistent when things get demanding. And Toyota recalibrated the all-wheel drive system to sharpen torque distribution and responsiveness. Combined, these changes shift how the car actually behaves on the road, even with the engine output staying basically flat. There's also a close-ratio 6-speed gearbox, which tightens the spacing between gears, so the engine spends more time in its sweet spot under acceleration. That matters both on back roads and at the track, keeping power delivery smoother and more continuous. Another reminder that this car is built for people who care about the process of driving, not just the results. An intercooler spray system has been added specifically to help manage intake temperatures during sustained track use. Not something you'd notice commuting, but genuinely useful lap after lap when heat soak becomes a real issue. It's a small detail, but it says a lot. This isn't a cosmetic special edition dressed up to look serious.
It's actually built with track duty in mind. Here's the thing though, a skilled enthusiast could replicate a good chunk of this with aftermarket parts for considerably less money. Pull the rear seats, drop in upgraded suspension, add lightweight wheels, swap on sticky tires. You'd spend far less than the gap between the standard GR Corolla and the GRMN. Purely financially, building your own version makes more sense, but that comparison misses what this car is actually selling, because at the end of the day, this is about scarcity, and Toyota clearly understands its value. Only 730 units will exist worldwide, each carrying its own serialized plaque, and US allocation hasn't even been announced yet, which only adds to the uncertainty around getting one. Production numbers like that usually belong to exotic halo cars, not five-door hatchbacks, and that alone puts the GRMN in a category of its own. That kind of scarcity changes the whole conversation. If Toyota built a few thousand of these, you'd see endless comparisons to the Honda Civic Type R or a lightly used Porsche Cayman, with buyers weighing specs and value line by line. With only 730 examples globally, though, those comparisons stop mattering much. The real question shifts from, is this fast enough to justify the price, to, will I ever get another shot at owning one? That psychological pull, the fear of missing a chance that won't come around again, is exactly what's driven limited production car culture for years, often outweighing pure engineering merit. Toyota sweetens the deal further by throwing in a one-year NASA membership, giving owners a connection to amateur motorsport and driver education, plus a complimentary high-performance driving event so buyers can actually experience what the car can do in the right setting. It's a nice touch. It keeps the GRMN from feeling like something meant purely to sit in a garage. Launching something this focused also says a lot about how much confidence Toyota now has in Gazoo racing. The brand's been steadily building credibility for years through cars like the GR Yaris, GR86, Supra, and GR Corolla, all leaning into driver engagement over luxury or gadgetry. The GRMN is really the sharpest expression of that philosophy yet, trading practicality and affordability for something more raw and immediate. Whether it's worth it is ultimately going to depend on who you ask. Buyers chasing performance per dollar will find plenty of smarter options out there. But for the people lucky enough to land one of those 730 slots, they'll own something defined as much by rarity as by engineering. In a world increasingly dominated by electrification and mass production, a manual-only, track-tuned, deliberately scarce hatchback like this taps into something that has nothing to do with spec sheets, and scarcity, as history keeps proving, has a funny way of rewriting what value actually means.